different energy, right?
Yeah. It's another episode of the Miller Experience. And we have a very special guest today, guys. But before I introduce my guest, I just want to thank you guys for just liking the content, sharing, loving it, subscribing. We're currently at 928 subscribers. So, hey, guys, beat it up in the comments, beat it up on that subscribe button, and just show the love, man. Tell everybody about us, okay? I'm your host, Excalibur, and co-host Craig and Victor, and I'm going to tell you about my special guest today, guys. I think he's Jamaican, man, but we'll talk about that later on because he does a lot. He's a host and senior executive producer of the Michael Finkley Show, a big-time social media influence personality with a vast following across multiple platforms. His show resonates with viewers for the multitude of reasons, including his engagement in thought-provoking conversation that cover a diverse array of topics such as politics, entertainment, and social issues, just like us. My guest is known for his likable ability to connect with people from all walks of life, creating an inclusive and impactful environment for his audience. My guest is a Grammy nominated World Entertainment Award winner and a host of the award-winning social talk show, The Michael Finkley Show by the CTR Media Network. My guest has been invited to several prestigious events, including the Stellar Gospel Awards, the Oscars, Grammys, and more. Additionally, my guest, he leads his voice every Friday to the Jamal Bates Morning Show, the Community Spotlight series on the almighty 105.1 FM, helping others to achieve their dreams. He's also an alumni at Allen University out of Columbia, South Carolina. He's a brother of mine. Known him for a while. We started in the podcast game together. He's one of them ones, man. He keep his word. He's a man of his word. And, he always passed the plug. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother, Michael Finkley. What's up, Mike? How you doing, bro?
What's up? What's good?
Big time. Hey, let me ask you this question, man. You was at the Oscars when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
No, I wasn't there that year. No.
You wasn't there that year? Oh, man, you missed that.
No, I missed. I had just missed it.
That's the year you decided not to be there, right?
Yep. I was like, dang, I wish I was there.
I know, right?
I would have went on stage too. I'm like, you don't be slapping Chris. That's South Carolina right here. You don't be slapping Chris.
Especially over somebody that don't want him, right? Hey, that's another topic for another day. That's another topic for another day.
Let's go into it, shall we?
Hey, man, but you coming from the big city of Mullins, South Carolina.
Yes.
How did a young man from Mullins, South Carolina started this impactful podcast? What was the thought process and what made you want to start it?
I started because I needed an outlet for myself. It started out of depression. I was not in a good place mentally when I started, and I was just going through a lot. And I said, maybe if I talk to somebody, right? I made myself feel better, and it worked. My mom was in radio for like 20 some years in her hometown, and of course, I love the way she did things. She met with different gospel artists, and she was a DJ and did all these programs. I want to do that, and so kind of coupled with all of that, it just sprung out during COVID, and 5 years later, here I am, still going strong. So, oh God, I would have never known. I'm like, I'm going this direction.
Yeah, man.
Would never known.
Yeah, man. Your mother working in radio. How was that? Did she give you any pointers when you want to start a podcast? Have you done anything in radio? I've done some things. That's how I met Craig. I've done some things in radio, and I know it kind of helped me out in my podcast career also.
Yeah, my mom always gives me pointers. Like, say it this way, or use your voice that way, or try using a different element when it comes to this. So she always still to today, she always gives me pointers. I did radio briefly in college, and I wanted to do it full time, but my president at the time, she told them because they were going to hire me, and my president at the time, she told them, she's like, you would not be hiring Michael Finkley. He is going to graduate school. You would not be hiring him. And so I'm like, whoa. So I went to graduate school. And ever since then, I felt something was missing. And I'm like, I want to do radio. I want to do something in radio. But it was never the right time or the right opportunity. Many people were like, you don't have the right personality at times. And, just hearing those no's all the time. And so I was like, You know what? I'm going to create my own lane. And Michael Finkley Show started.
Well, somebody actually told you don't have the right personality.
Personality. I want to do television at one point. I don't have the right look. I've always been darker. I've always been bigger, and they're like, no. So yeah, I've heard it all. I've heard it all, but
Wow, that's crazy.
nothing stopped me. You ain't gonna
Well,
stop me,
whoever said that's
doggone
a
it.
dummy. I hope they're not in the career they whatever they're in, man, because they don't know talent.
No, they're still
Speaking of
there.
talent, man, you have a variety of guests. I mean, big time guests such as Ursula. Thank you for the connect. Other actors, musicians. Man, how do you find these guests and how do you make them feel so comfortable when you? I watch your interviews. I watch all your stuff, brother, and it seemed like y'all known each other for years. Well, seriously, what is like the thought process when you're interviewing these guys? How do you make them so comfortable and just to come out and just talk to you?
Because they're people. They're people with jobs just like we do. So
Okay.
that makes it. And then I'll ask the question sometimes. I'm like, "Are you nervous?" And they'll say no. So I'm like, "Why am I nervous?" So I just go on with that. Um, some people are very surprised when I ask my questions. I go with the flow. I don't unless they're promoting like a movie or a book or anything like that. I'm sure to plug that in. But other than that, if we have like a basic conversation, I don't prepare.
Yeah.
I just go with the flow, and things just happen, and they get comfortable, and it gets deep. Sometimes they cry, they laugh, they scream, whatever they need to do within their interview time frame. So yeah, that's why it makes it like we know each other for a long time. Because sometimes many a times many people don't realize that many of my interviews may take time. There's one guest, it took 2 years for me to get them on the show. In that time frame, I kept in contact. I
Yeah.
text, talk on the phone, that kind of thing, until the time was right. So we knew each other by the time we got on the interview. So it made it that much more real. So yeah, and as you know, this is the art, and many people think it's so easy to get in front of a camera and just talk.
Yes.
There's so
Yes.
much more preparation that goes along with it. But yeah, yeah, I just have fun with my guests because again, they're just people, just like me, just like me.
And dude, I totally agree with that. Like some of my guests now, even with Ursula, me and her still talk. She's delusional fan, like
Hey,
Fred
wait,
here. I mean,
Vic, 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 what?
I just told Ursula the other day, I don't know who's more delusional, Trump supporters or Cowboy fans. Um, Same thing with Reggie Wright Jr.
Boy, I can't laugh too hard.
Same thing with Reggie Wright Jr. I keep in contact with him. His birthday just passed. I text him happy birthday. Yeah, they're my guests, man. But I felt like we built a friendship, and now I feel like it's a lifelong friendship that I want to keep developing. I just don't want to talk to you just to have you on my show. I want to maintain this friendship. So I understand what you're saying, Mike. But on that note, tell us one of the funniest stories of one of your guests, like behind the scenes or doing the filming. Like, tell us something that crazy that happened with one of your guests.
Oh gosh, I need to start making blooper reels because literally when the conversation's over, I still have it on record, and sometimes they're like, can you turn it off or is this still recording? I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
won't. I'll take this part out so they can be real with me. The funniest I would say, what's her name? Erica Hubbard, and she was like this major, she still is major movie star, movies you see on Tubi a lot and that kind of thing. But it was just like one thing, I forgot what that one thing was, but we couldn't just stop laughing. Like after the interview
Yeah.
was over, we just laughed at one another. Like we just, and we'll stop laughing and start laughing again. It was like, what's this? I forgot what it was, but like things like that build connections, and it's like, you don't forget those things. Like we could not just stop laughing. So we're just having a good time with one another.
Yeah.
But the most memorable one I want to say is with Lavelle Crawford when he said
Ah,
that once he finishes comedy, he wants to, start a church and go save souls. I have never heard him say that on any outlet before, and because of that, he put me on his website. I'm still there. I'm the
yeah.
only podcast platform like us on his website because he
Wow.
got real with me. He got real with me in saying that. And because you know how he is, I mean, his comedy.
Yeah.
So, but for him
That's
to get
why I was
that
asking how
serious,
was the context he said it? We said it in a joking way or was he serious?
no,
Because
he was serious.
okay, okay,
That
okay.
man was like, when I'm done, I'm going to open up a church. He's like, if I save one soul life, I've done my job. That man was serious, and he gonna do it too.
Oh, there you
Watch,
go.
Pastor Crawford.
I got to go to that church. I'm gonna be highly entertained.
Ooh. Hey, you'll laugh.
Highly entertained,
Have
man.
a good time.
Yeah, yeah. Craig, you got a question?
Yeah, I was thinking about this when I was reading your bio, and in there you talked about serving in various roles in higher education, and one was diversity and inclusion. And I
I
say
saw that.
because
Yeah.
a lot of people look at this as dirty words.
Now,
Yeah. What is it that you feel people are seeing this as a negative connotations? That they're looking at it negatively, as opposed to looking at it in a way that it's meant to be looked at.
yeah. I definitely feel that you will see the negative aspect coming more so with white people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of not understanding. Like when I do my professional development courses on DEI, I start all the way from the beginning. So what's diversity, what's equity, and what's inclusion, right? And we break those things down and we do activities to make sure they understand each of these concepts. Because if you don't understand, you won't grow, you won't learn. And so it all begins with you. You are DEI, you are diversity. So it depends on how you react to people. So many people know that they don't react to people in a way that should be that that in a way that society should see them as a regular person. Some people are just mean, and so they act in that way of being racist, of being themselves because that's probably all they know growing up. Or some people may have been racist and they're just not complying to themselves, like, you know what, this is not right. I want to change this and I want to learn about other cultures and how they operate. And therefore, I want to be included within that environment. So, it depends on the individual because that's what DEI starts. Um, so again, some people are afraid of these words because they're afraid to search within themselves and fix themselves.
Right.
It's because it starts with them.
It does.
Literally, it starts with them. And then once you have a grasp of these concepts, right, and you know who you are in these individual variations of what these different concepts are, then we can begin life together in a very harmonious way.
Right.
But until then, if you don't know yourself and your being, then you're lost, and that's what people are afraid of.
Craig, hold on. Before you ask your next question, Craig, I just want to say this. Man, let me tell you how good I know my people, right? Craig, right?
Uh-huh.
Throw that in your bio too. But I left that alone because I knew that was going to be the question he's going to ask. I purposely left that one alone because I knew. I said, I know. I saw it when I saw a DEI right there, consultant. I said, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone for
Lord,
Craig. I know that's gonna be one of the ones.
I forgot that was his name.
And if he did ask it, I was going to ask it in a different way because I was still going to.
Go ahead, Craig. Go ahead with your next one, man. I just want to say that.
Next question. I saw that you have an education and consulting firm where you specialize in first generation education. Can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, so it's my own experience. When I was going through the process of college, I'm first generation, so my parents didn't graduate from high school. I mean, from college. So my sisters and I were the first generation to do so.
Right.
And so going through the process, it was so hard. I thought that once you applied to one school and they accepted you, you had to go to that school. So that's why I ended up at Allen. I didn't know that I had choices of going to a Benedict or a Claflin or Francis Marion, all these other schools that accepted me. And then financial aid and it got coping mentally your first year and all these different things. And so I took my own experiences and I'm like, you know what? Students need help, especially where I'm from. A majority of them are first generation students. Their parents don't know the process.
Right.
And so I wrote books about it. I've done sessions about it. I've done one-on-one sessions about it. And just to assist this generation of what their college and career needs are.
Mhm.
I was in Manning for 2 years, and where I was a college counselor and assisted students there as well, and they still call me to this day for advice on different things. And so yeah, it was very important to me, and it still is. And so I still help. I still help. Because it's so important that our students have a clear path of what their future entails. And if I can help in any way possible, then so be it. I'm going to do so with all my heart and strength. Especially when it comes down to scholarships,
Mhm.
students should not pay for college because there's so much money out there. So I just help them try to find that money and try to apply for that money, and keep that money while they're in school. So just so many different levels to it, and I help them in each of those levels that they need assistance with. So that's
And
where it
just
came from.
right, and just to piggyback on that a little bit, for those people or kids who don't know the avenues that they have, can you elaborate on what FAFSA is?
Yeah, so this is the federal application for aid
Mhm.
that the government offers students. They completed on their end. The parents or guardians completed on their end. If the student worked within that tax time frame they're looking at, they had their taxes in. Of course, their parent or guardian had their taxes in, and then they come up with a number based on their calculations of the FAFSA, and they either get awarded funding from the federal government based off that number, and or they can see how much they can contribute to their education as well. Now, a lot of parents have come to me over the years. I make too much money. That's fantastic, but you know, do it anyway because if the federal government is only going to give you $900, well, that's $900 you're saving out of
Right.
your own pocket.
That
So
part. There you
every
go.
penny matters.
Yep.
Right.
So students that don't fill out the FAFSA and they're like, you know what, I don't need it, they're losing money. They're losing money. I don't care
Mhm.
if it's 500, 400. You're losing money. You're
Right.
losing
Books
money.
cost.
So
Yeah.
books,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
sure.
They can cover one book. Listen, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that money. I'm gonna get it.
Bro, let me
You
tell you, my
know,
daughter go to FAMU
Man,
and she hit me up every day about some damn book fees and everything, man.
oh yeah.
that part. That
Yeah.
part. There you go. So it all
Vic.
matters.
Vic, you got
uh,
a question?
all right. So you are work Grammy nominated for for your work. Yeah, tell me, elaborate on that. Tell me how it happened. What were your thoughts? What were you feeling? What was going on? How did this happen?
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I like telling this story. Um, I never knew how this show was gonna bless. I'm
Mhm.
just looking at on that end of I want to bless people to come on and talk about what they want to talk about. I never knew how the show was gonna bless me over the years. And so I was on these IG streets, and I was this man kept popping up on my feed, Antonio Vergara out of Ecuador. And I was like, why does he keep popping up on my feed? And so he was already nominated. He already won for he won a Latin Grammy to be an engineer. He's an engineer as well. So he's also an artist. And I interviewed him. We talked about it. And he after the show, he was like, "I want you to be on my next project." And I've been promised so many different things over the years. I don't get
Right.
excited anymore. I'm more of an action person.
Right.
So as long as you're a man to your word, then I'm good. But if not, I'm gonna keep on doing what I do. But he was a man to his word. I did some background vocals for him for his project, The Fury, and it was a contemporary blues album, and so I'm like, yeah, fantastic. I did what I had to do, and I passed it on to him and my engineer, and so time went on. He submitted to the Grammys, which I didn't know he was going to do. He submitted my name as well to the Academy, so giving me credit along with the project, and bing, bada, boom, the project becomes Grammy nominated. I'm like, what? And so I immediately reach out to him. I'm like, what does this mean? What does this actually mean? And he's like, from this point on, you are considered a Grammy nominated artist. And
Man,
I'm like,
Okay.
whoa. So that's why we're able to
Yeah.
go to the Grammys this year and experience all of that. It was my first time going, seeing all the people that you've seen on television up close and personal. But we didn't win in our category. But
That's
at
all
the end
right.
of the day,
You
yeah,
nominated.
exactly.
Nominated,
We're
yeah.
we're forever nominated, and again, what an experience! I would have never known that would ever even happen to me because that wasn't even in my vision for that to happen for myself. But to have that under my belt, I'm like, wow, and I'm gonna use it.
So,
Hey, Vic, Vic.
let me say it correctly. You are a Grammy nominated artist.
Yes, I
Right.
am.
Nobody can say that.
I can tell
And
you,
no one
man.
can take that
I
away.
would love, Mike, if you could hook me up with someone to do some background music. The only problem is I can't sing.
Milli Vanilli, baby.
Yeah.
I can lip sync.
Well,
I can lip sync with the
The word
best.
tells us.
Hey man, check this out though. Beyonce can't sing either.
Oh, no.
You try to get canceled. You try to get canceled.
Oh, hey, Michael trying to run on this one. He trying to pull a blind down.
You try to get canceled. Like she got
Hey,
all the slack. She done
I'm
got
just
all the
saying.
slack already for this country album of the year, and now you gonna say that she can't sing.
Mike, really?
This is my thing with Beyonce. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've been saying this for years. She can't sing. She's not the voice like Whitney.
No.
Or but she's in her own element. She can hold a note, she can sing, she can perform very well.
She's a performer.
She's just not that.
Yeah, she's a
Like
performer.
when you think of singing, I think of Whitney because like that's the voice of it
Okay,
all.
well, so
and
check
no
this
one
out,
can
Mike.
compare.
Check this out, Mike. Let's change it. What you just said was key. She's a performer.
Mm-hmm.
She's a performer.
Was a performer.
Like Janet Jackson. She's a performer.
She's a performer.
Her voice is it's all right.
See,
It's all right.
It's a voice.
See, I love like out of the whole Destiny trio, I love Michelle Williams. And people are like, oh, she can't sing, she can't sing, she can't
Yeah, she
sing.
can sing. Yeah, she can sing.
But I love me some Michelle Williams. Out of the, like you can have Beyonce and Kelly. Give me Michelle all day, every day.
Right.
And she got that Jay-Z machine behind her. But go ahead, Vic.
Yeah. So you're at the Grammy. Did you actually see Jaden Smith with this castle on his head?
Oh my goodness.
So unfortunately, I was minding my happy-go-lucky business, and I didn't have the opportunity to go on the red carpet.
Okay.
So because the venues changed so quickly, so it was like you have to leave the pre-Grammy show and go right straight into the televised Grammy show. And so that's what we did. We just went from building to building. So the red carpet was up front. And so because I wanted to experience everything in the pre-Grammy aspect, I skipped the red carpet.
Okay.
But when I saw that, so yeah, that was my experience.
That's not even the one, man. Kanye wife.
Oh man.
No,
yeah.
She was all the way naked.
Hey, they showed him. He was like coercing her. You know what I'm saying?
That.
Now, hey, my wife came up with a theory that I didn't even thought about, but it could be a good point knowing Kanye mindset. My wife says she think Kanye West did that because how back in the day, how the slave master used to rape our women. So maybe Kanye is like in his sick little mind, he feel like he's getting back at the slave master by letting his wife, which is a Caucasian woman, she do whatever the hell he says. And that's what my wife, we talking about Kanye now. So anything can be. He said slavery was a choice.
Yeah,
the guy that say slavery is a choice. So he can be thinking anything.
So what he gonna say afterwards? Happy Black History Month.
Hey,
Here
but
we go.
when she
I'm
say
now
that,
embarrassing my wife. Happy Black History Month.
when she says that, see, obviously Kanye though us don't think like that. When she say that, you got to think about from the mindset of Kanye. Even though we all can't think that damn
You
way,
can't
but
think like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Listen,
he's a different human being, man. He's a different
Don't
human
know if I
being,
ever
man.
want to
very
think like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no one does. I don't think he does at times, but you know, he got no choice.
yeah.
He's,
But you got
so,
another one.
yeah. So, well, congratulations on the Grammy and the red carpet, all of that. Is
Thank
there
you.
a dream interview that you have not done yet?
I get that a lot. Um, I would definitely say it's definitely between Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. I know it's so cliche-ish, but when I started my show, I studied the greats. I studied Phil Donahue. I studied Ricky Lake. I studied Oprah. I studied Montel. And their different techniques of interviewing and promos and how they marketed themselves back in the day. And to if you want to be great, you have to study the greats. And so for me to sit down with Oprah, that would be a dream come true because I studied her so much. I feel like I can create a whole curriculum of her.
Mm, wow.
Because she was the blueprint in the sense of what modern daytime television looked like back then. And so yeah, and so I kind of studied that and made it what how I see it as my own show. And so I remember one person that was like, "You give me that '90s vibes with your show." And I'm like, "Yeah, I love it. It was fantastic." But yeah, and then Tyler, I love their stories because they came from nothing and
Mhm.
they worked
Mhm.
hard to
Yeah.
get to where they are. Um, some of the decisions they made about getting to where they are, do I agree with? No, but at the end of the day, they worked hard to make their money and make their mark as they saw fit. And so that's why I love their stories so much. So yeah, it has to be one of those two. I would love, and that's going to happen. It's going to
Yeah, I
happen.
believe
So
it.
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
look on your time frame, don't be
Yeah,
surprised.
I believe it. I believe it.
Believe it. Yeah, yeah.
Just knowing you and how your mindset is, I feel like we could be like the same when it comes to that mindset. I can see it. I honestly can see it.
Yeah.
See it.
No,
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
I think there's always some pinch of controversy that helps people to get to that pinnacle, that
Yeah.
that next step. Think about it. What's his name? The gentleman we were trying to get on our show.
Robbie.
No, he's very controversial. At one point, he was
Orlando.
mainstream. He was
Charleston White.
Charleston White.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a controversy that he just took it to the next level. So with Oprah and like you said, Tyler Perry, you may not have liked some of the things that they did, but some of those things may have actually helped them get over that top.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Associations, connections, people they supported along the years. Why is she doing that? Why is she doing that? There was a reason.
Right.
There was a reason.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of
yeah.
that, what's the importance? Oh, you got another one, Vic? Go ahead.
Nope, I'm good. I'll pass it on to you.
Speaking of that, what's the importance of networking?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked that question,
Yeah.
bruh. Oh my God, it's so important.
You know I know, but a lot of people don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Bruh, I can teach a whole course about that. That is so important. You never want to burn bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know when you have to go back across them again.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make yourself relevant to the people, like you said before. I don't want to just have you on the show. Just to talk about, but I mean your life forever. You
Exactly.
can't get rid of Finkley. You can't get rid of me.
Exactly.
When I went to California, I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm just starting to meet people that I interviewed 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they remembered me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, you never know when that could lead. So networking is so important. Build those relationships continuously, helping them out. Even people that were on my show. For example, I had this gospel artist on my show. I brought them to Mullins and put money in their pocket so they
Wow.
can perform.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now it's like, oh, Finkley remember? Okay, and he go, oh, well, okay, I can deal with this dude.
Yeah.
He really believes in me. Of course I do. So preferably one day you can pay it forward, and it's like a two-way street. You can do the same thing to me one day, right?
Yep.
But so yeah, it's so important. It's so important. I always say to myself that I don't want to be a memory, but I want to be rememberable. I don't want to just be a memory.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I want to keep this thing going. I gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
Just like I had the opportunity to meet the great Jennifer Hudson when I was in
Yeah, I
LA.
was about to ask you about that. I saw the picture, man.
What a voice there.
Yeah. Now,
What a
see,
voice.
she can sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her, Fantasia, them two right there.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, can blow. That's a singer, Mike.
Fantasia sings so hard, them shoes come off.
Yeah.
Those shoes come off.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to interview her husband last year. And I'm just, that man loved him some Tasia. Listen, oh my gosh.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like and that's one of the crying interviews. Like he literally cried because he loved her. He loves her so much.
That's awesome.
And it's so fun. It's fun fact. They got married in Bennettsville.
Wow.
Ah.
Wow. Didn't know that.
South Carolina, because Tasia has family there. And I'm like, Bennettsville? He's like, yeah, why not? I'm like,
I would have thought Charlotte.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
Bennettsville.
Well, let me ask you this. And I'm going to say this on the side. It's just funny. You know how you can know when somebody can really sing?
Mm-hmm.
And they look like they can cook. Fantasia look like she can cook. Patty look like she can cook. Whitney look like she can cook.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson. If you look like you can throw down in the kitchen and cook a good Sunday meal, you can sing. I'm just saying. Beyonce look like she can't cook. But back to my next question.
I mean, I can cook. I just can't sing. I can't hold a note.
What you gotta say, Mike?
You can hold
yeah.
Hey, Mike, let me tell you something about me, man. I'm slightly on the controversy level with me, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't go as far yet. I'm still long for it.
You don't have to give me a disclaimer because I know you and I watch your show. So over the years, I've learned who you are.
Right.
No disclaimer here. I know I was walking into.
No, Mike. I do have some. You talked earlier about radio. How you thought you were actually going to stick with radio in the beginning. And I wanted to say what drew you into radio, but just in conversation, that's the point. When you get out there, it's just about having a conversation.
That's it.
Like when I'm on this podcast, I don't think about what's going on until I realize after my questions or after we've talked, and I'll be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should. What about what do the viewers think? But it's more so about having a conversation. It really is, and you get lost in it.
Yeah.
And that's the best part.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, have there been interviews where you just got lost and y'all went on basically a tangent and you had to think about it to bring it back in? That this is actually a recording, or this is actually live.
When I get into my own head doing interviews, something's wrong. Something's wrong. When I start thinking about, what I need to do after this, I need to start doing this, and that. Something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong. I had I'm not going to name their names, but I did a series a few years ago of Where Are They Now? It was like stuff I was interested in back in the day, in my family. So we did like America's Next Top Model, and we did Power Rangers, and we did American Idol. Like, where are they now? And so it was one guest. They just started talking foolery. I'm just like, okay.
Who you had, Orlando Brown?
And you know what? At one point, I told him I would never get him on my show, but the way he's acting now, I would love to have him on.
Yeah,
I would love to have him on. But no, he wasn't out that he wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But no, he was just started talking different things. I was like, I will never have this guest on again. I will never have this guest on again. What have I done? Like, really, I'm like, Fink fam, I'm so sorry. I just don't know. I had to edit that thing, so I was like, I would never have this guest on again. because you talking mess, and then it's like, then I'm in my own thoughts, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
there's a lot going on.
yeah,
There's a lot going
Yeah.
on.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is just a waste of time. Yeah, I've had a lot of those. I'm like, you will never be on the show again. And then even now, I have a wait list, and I'm honored now in this season that I can be choosy of who
Mm,
comes on my
Right.
show. At one point, I couldn't be that way because many people didn't know who I was and what I was all about. But now that they know, like especially now, for example, when I put up that picture, I feel like when I put up that picture of Jennifer Hudson today, it put me in another tier. And
Mhm.
people are now out of the woodworks. I want to be back on the show. I want to be back on the show. I have this going
mm.
on. How's that going on? I was like, mm,
Let
mm.
me ask you this, Mike, because it's funny you brought this up. I just literally had this conversation with my wife during a lunch break today. Now we get to the status of I got a lot going on just because of this show. A lot of people starting to notice me. But
Yeah,
it seemed like now the people that seem like they weren't rocking with me before are starting to rock with me.
yeah.
And I'm kind of pushing them away. Now I ain't feeling y'all no more. You should have came at me when I first started.
When we first
So
started,
yeah,
5 years
when
ago.
we first started. Cause guess what? If you coming to me now, I'm gonna charge you. That's the kind of mindset you have.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
definitely. Like
yeah.
when they get that email, um, and they're like, "Well, I'm giving them the instructions. The price is in there, and once
There you
that
go.
price is cleared,
There you go.
right, paid in
Yeah.
full, then we could talk about having you on the show. We can confirm a date and time. But
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Which you talk about various subjects just like us with politics, social issues,
Yeah, you copied me.
just
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike, now I know. That's what Green Bay fans do. That's what Green Bay fans do. They copy people.
Urge, you want me to mute him?
hey, yeah, mute him, man, mute him, yeah. Well, guess what, Mike? We copy the greats. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, we'll say that
oh.
on while we're on the air. We'll say that while we're on the air.
What's your favorite topic to discuss?
Oh my goodness, no one's ever asked me that question before. Good job, sir. Um, my favorite topic to discuss. Um, I'm very spiritual, so I love staying in the spiritual realm of talking about God. I can do that all day long.
Mhm.
And then, um, if I know that we're going to talk about like for example, if Jennifer ever will come on the show, we talk about like the history of like daytime television, or the evolution of how African Americans contribute to that. That'd be a conversation well welcomed in that regard. But it depends. It depends on the guest. Like if they're talking about a brand new movie and I know I saw it, I'm gonna dive right into it. Or a book. I read that book before I interviewed them. Dive right into it. So it just depends. It depends on the guest.
I got two more questions. Um,
Just two more.
Here's two more, my man. Two more. What is your 5-year plan with your show?
Oh my gosh. So at one point I wanted to be that next daytime king of going to an ABC or CBS or NBC
Okay.
and making it happen that way. But as I look more into daytime television, I feel that's my realm. um they're so restricted. You know, on my show we can have three-dimensional conversations and they
Mhm.
might take an hour, right? But
Yeah.
we have that hour to do so. we're
Yeah.
not we're not restricted. But daytime television, okay, we got 10 minutes to talk about this and this. When I went to the Jennifer Hudson show, within we got there like 4:30. We didn't leave until like after 7. Within that time frame, she did 7 segments back to back to back to back, and all of them
Wow.
timed back to back to back. And that show actually aired on this past Monday. So go back to Jim Show, watch it. You're gonna see the big dude with the flowery shirt on the front row. So go back. Um, but she did 7 segments back to back to back, and I was just like, well, all of them were timed. So there's just certain time frames. So what I would like to do now is, um, I want to establish a place, maybe locally. I'm not sure where yet, where I want podcasters to come in and have their own space to do podcasting. But in the midst of that same building, I want my own set.
Okay.
I want my
Okay.
own
Yeah.
set,
Right.
Okay.
like a Jennifer Hudson or a Sherry or Tamron Hall, where
But
people
with less
can.
restriction.
Yes, less restriction. Like you do what you want to do, right? There's nothing like that around here that I know of.
Right.
Like when I
Yeah.
look on Peer Space now, the closest I can go to from where I live is Charlotte. There's none in Myrtle Beach. There's none in Florence. There's some few places in Columbia, but nothing where I am here in the PD. So I'd love to see that around here because a lot of people around here are like, I want to start my own podcast. Why not teach a class, right? You
I
know,
had people
and
come
then
up to me and ask me
Yeah.
questions about it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ernest,
Um,
I remember in radio
mhm,
being in that time,
mhm,
2 minutes,
mhm.
minute and a half,
Yep.
3 minutes,
Yeah.
those segments.
Yeah.
You felt like you were claustrophobic in a sense, didn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just feel, yeah.
Yeah.
So you feel so restricted that you're like, okay, dang, I wanted that other question to be because it seemed like it would flow, but it's a segment, and now you
Yeah.
got to go to so it didn't seem genuine. It almost
Exactly.
Yeah.
seemed scripted. Am I right in saying that?
You're right, man. You're
Yeah.
right. That's why I told when I was in radio and when that happened to me, I say never again. I'm not doing an interview on radio anymore. I just couldn't do it. It didn't feel genuine. I felt like I was rushing the person. I invited this person to come on, and I feel like I was rushing them.
Mhm.
And the people really didn't get a chance to know the person I was interviewing them.
Mhm.
Right.
Because I
Yeah.
always thought this was my mindset in radio, and you can correct me, Craig, and also you, Mike, because you guys have a background in this. I always thought you did the full interview, and then somebody edited and chopped it up into them. Say, I didn't know you actually had to stop at a certain time.
Right. Yeah.
So I just didn't know. But I got one more question. We're gonna play a game. All right, Mike. You
Oh
said
my.
what made you start your podcast was you was depressed.
Mhm.
Me, I started because it was some things I want to get off my chest. And during that time, the pandemic just started, and then that's when podcasts really started to, come alive.
Mhm.
What would you tell the next Mike Finkley or next Excalibur or Craig or Victor that's want to get their voice out there but don't know how to? What would you tell them like the right steps to go? Because by you being depressed, I feel like that was smart for you to start a podcast instead of you going another route.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And doing something crazy. So what would you tell that next person that's probably
I,
going through the same situation you did?
I would tell them first, because so many people are doing it now, and you know
Mhm.
somebody. So you got a mentor, right? That's kind of doing what you're doing already. When I first started, I didn't have that because
Mhm.
I didn't really listen to podcasts back then. And then seek out a mentor, and then once you get the elements that you need and you get from that mentor, first of all, keep that mentor and just start. Um, I always tell people I did my podcast backwards because when you think of a podcast, you think of the audio only.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started with the visual. I
Hmm.
started on
Mhm.
YouTube,
Hmm.
and I didn't put all my shows on podcast platforms until like a year later. And by that
Same here.
time, I had like almost 100 shows.
Yeah.
Right.
So when people ask me, "How do you start a podcast?" I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now
Yeah.
I can start I can start a YouTube social media talk show. I got you,
Yeah.
but a podcast, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Do something. I don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, but that's what I would tell these individuals now. Seek out a mentor. Because again, there's just so many persons doing it now. There's so many people now. Like I'm on Instagram and it's like, here's my book and I teach how to do it from A to Z, or here's my seminar, I teach how to do it from A to Z. Like attend one of those things first. And then get what you can get from it, and then work it yourself, make it your own, find your niche, as they say.
Yeah.
Find your niche. It took me a long time to find my niche. It
Yeah.
really did. I feel
Same
like
here.
season 8 for me started my niche,
Yeah.
literally, because I named it a season of dreams
Mhm.
based on my song, based on my book, and it works for me. Now I'm asking everybody. I was at a comedy show in Raleigh not too long ago, and I saw Sherry Shepherd, and I said, "Sherry, what's your next biggest dream?" And she was so shocked. She was like, "No one's ever asked me that question before," and so she answered it. So I found my. I'm gonna run with it always. Now I get to run because I know what I'm doing now after 8 seasons and 5 years. I,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I know what I'm doing now. So, but yeah, I would say start there. Yeah.
And it's crazy. You mentioned Sherry Shepherd. I just literally probably DM her last week for an interview. But a lot of people
So
that want to start podcasts, huh?
let's talk offline again.
Okay,
Okay.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Mhm.
But one thing, a lot of people that want to start podcasts, they think this thing is easy, man. It is not easy. Some majority of people that start podcasts don't have a personality. That's the main thing you got to have is a personality.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
You got to be interesting. You got to keep someone that want to. Why don't keep watching this person? What
Mhm.
makes me going to stay and watch his video for an hour, listen to him for an hour? You got to be entertaining. You got to know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Cause all this what Charleston White is doing is cool. But if you're gonna go that Charleston White route, make sure you talking some real stuff in between. Cause that's the only reason why he going that route. So he can grab your attention and he gonna hit you with some powerful stuff.
Exactly.
So
Right.
and
Exactly.
just make
And
sure go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to say this too,
Mhm.
because I'm a true testament of this as well, and me and you both are as well. You cannot. When I first started, I was like, I need to have the million followers, and I have to have a million views
Yeah.
and all that kind of good stuff, and it drove me crazy to try to get there. But I said to myself, the people that do watch and follow, cater to them. Cater to them. Let everything else
Engagement.
go.
Engagement.
Again,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about. I don't have the
Mike got
big
a camera in my house,
viewership.
man. I always said that.
Right.
Like, I don't have the biggest viewership. I don't have the
Yeah.
biggest following. I really don't. But I made it to the Grammys.
Right.
I have people now that are executives that watch me. Like the other day, the Recording Academy CEO, we're friends now, of the Grammys, so you never know. But as long as you're true to your being and to yourself, then you're fine. You are
Yep.
fine. The audience will come, the followers will come, the viewership will
Yep.
come. But at the end of the day, you have to be true to you.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, it's worked well for me. This worked well for me.
Mike. Mike,
Because
I'm
think
telling
about
Mike.
podcasting, you're trying to engage with an audience that doesn't have a voice in a
There you
sense.
go.
Exactly.
Right.
There you go.
And so just think about how difficult that might be.
Hmm.
But to be genuine, because there are people out there going through something. There's four
Something.
different people here, and we all go through different things.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
There's someone going through something that they can relate to, you know?
Hmm.
And so that's what podcasting is, being relatable. A lot
That's
of people.
it, man. So, Mike, we're gonna play a game called a Firing Squad. All right, I'm gonna ask you a series of questions. Just answer the best of your ability. All right.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
For psychology stage, there's only two emotions: being loved and feared. Which one you rather be?
Um, Feared.
What is your biggest fear?
What's my biggest fear? My biggest fear. Oh wow, yeah. My biggest fear is that God removes His hand from me.
Wow.
My,
Powerful.
mm,
Powerful.
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 Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
It's okay to be me.
There you go. What's the worst piece of advice you ever received?
Okay, I'm gonna put this in a in a bubble, I guess.
Go ahead.
People that try to tell me what to do with my show when you're not doing what I do.
Thank you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, next
Mm,
question. Next question.
out.
Next
Out.
question.
Ooh. Hey, no, you didn't.
Hey, hey, I
You
know
didn't
what you're
just say
talking about.
that.
Hey, next question. I'm gonna take you out a little bit. Top three hip hop albums.
Top three hip hop albums. Oh my gosh, you will pick a genre that I don't really listen to like that. Top 3 hip hop albums.
If you can't answer that, give me R&B.
Okay, R&B. Can I give you the artist?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
All
Yeah.
right. So, Luther Vandross.
There you go.
Anything
Yep. He can cook too.
Anything
He look like he can cook.
Oh, you know he could because he kept losing
Yeah.
and gaining it. Because after y'all should watch that documentary on CNN though about him though. It's really
Oh,
really.
yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. I like Luther. I'm gonna check it out.
So Luther, anything about Luther, anything about Whitney, and of course anything about Michelle Williams because she does both.
Whitney can cook too. That pot in that kitchen. But,
No. Go back and watch the interview she did with Oprah. She's
I know, man. I just
don't cook. Don't cook.
Hey man, if you stuck on the island, what's the 3 most important things you need? If you stuck, you log on?
Yeah.
We hear you, Vic. I mean, not Vic, Mike, but we can't see you.
I can hear him.
I can barely hear him.
Barely.
Yeah, I can't even hear him now.
Oh, and
Give him a minute. He probably signed back on. Give him a second.
Yeah,
give him a second. Yeah, that's my boy, Mike, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, he had me on this show 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's all right. You all got started. You say around the same time. That's a good thing, man.
Yeah, we both got started around the same time, man.
Yes.
You heard my last question, Mike?
I'm sorry, what was the last question? I apologize.
So the last question is, if you're stuck on the island, what's the 3 most important things you want to bring with you?
Bring me where?
If you're stuck on the island. If you on Gilligan's Island, ain't no way you coming back. What's the 3 most important things you want to bring with you? You need to have with you.
Okay. A book.
Okay.
Wi-Fi and some form of technology.
Yeah, they ain't
no Wi-Fi ain't working now. What you doing? Mike, look at Mike, we don't want to talk about the Wi-Fi you got now.
Yeah.
Right?
Better Wi-Fi.
Hey, Mike.
Sound like.
Y'all just
Mike, you know we're gonna mess with you. Hey, Mike, last question, man.
So funny.
Hey, Mike stuck on the island now. Must be with that Wi-Fi. Hey, last question. Hey, when it's all said and done, man, and you know, see, Mike, proving my point, Mike.
All right,
proving my point, Mike.
Here we go. All right,
Mike, I didn't say anything about that one.
Yeah. Okay, we'll stop. Oh, okay, we're gonna stop talking.
Oh boy. Say Mike proving our point.
Yeah.
Like say.
I gotta talk to him offline. I gotta talk to him about some things offline.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm sorry I had to step out. Ooh.
Yeah, okay. Nature call.
Indeed. Hey, when you drinking 3 of these a day?
Yeah, I know. Oh, trust me, I know. Ask my wife. Dude, when we went to Florida, I didn't drink nothing because I knew we had to stop, and I ain't want to stop, so I didn't drink nothing, man. I didn't drink nothing. Seriously, I finally drunk something. We got to our destination.
Man, my family trip on me. If we can go 4 hours, I'm going about 6 times.
Yeah, man, I can't do it, man.
Try to make it a 1 tank.
Man.
Unless, hey, nah, let me tell you, I ain't gonna say that on camera. I'm gonna wait. I'll say that on camera. I ain't gonna say that on camera. I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna say that one on camera.
Oh, buddy.
Just give him a second. You not working on night shift no more?
No.
That's what's up.
I'm back to morning shift, and let me tell you, man, I'm happy. But yeah,
right.
I'm
All
happy.
right.
All right, hurry up. They call me again.
Hey, so Mike, when it's all said and done, how do you want the world to remember Michael Finkley?
As a person that gave everything that they could, I'll go because my goal is to leave all my gifts and talents here. So, yeah, a person that gave all they could.
That's what's up. Tell the people what you got going on, what's going on next with you, man. I know you got something going on. Tell everybody what you got going on, how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so right now I am gearing up for my tour. It's called the Biggest Dream Come True Tour. Our goal is to hit all universities, schools, businesses to talk about the aspect of fulfilling their dreams.
Okay.
During this time frame, I'll be able to talk about my book. There'll be a Q&A session. I get to sing my song. And then I may bring some celebrity guests as well with me as well, along with me on this tour. So they can find out more information about that on my website, michaelfinkleyshow.com. Again, they can listen to me every morning, Friday morning on the Jamal Bates Morning Show for Community Spotlight Series. We're everywhere. It's global, with some affiliates within the States as well. And then, of course, the Michael Finkley Show airs every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the CTR Media Network. So come check us out. You never know who's going to be on next. So check us out.
That's what's up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother, man, Michael Finkley, the great Michael Finkley. It's an honor to have you on, King. Hey, guys, make sure you keep liking, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you comment. See you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.